You are welcome to yet another episode of HN What's Your Say? The #1 listening show, where we discuss real issues with real people like you. We are still featuring R. Kelly. Real name Robert Sylvester Kelly. Also known as the R&B King. Ladies and gentlemen, imagine running a 10,000-meter race. You've trained, prepared, and as you near the finish line, then you're told the race isn't over. In fact, it's now been extended to 15,000 meters. Not because of your efforts, but because the rules changed mid-race. Sound unfair, right? That's precisely what's happening in the application of statute of limitations laws in R. Kelly's case. Let's discuss this violation of justice. The statute of limitations is an important pillar of justice. The reason for its existence is to ensure that legal claims are brought within a reasonable time frame, balancing the rights of alleged victims with the fundamental rights of the accused. And why is this so? Because over time memories fade, evidence deteriorates, and the likelihood of a fair trial diminishes. Originally, these laws were designed with fairness in mind. For instance, many states had laws that allowed victims of certain crimes to file charges until a specific period after the alleged incident, or until they reached a particular age. This timeline provided closure and protected against endless legal uncertainty. But what happens when the goalposts are suddenly moved? What happens when amendments retroactively extend these deadlines? That's precisely the issue at the heart of the prosecution's case against R. Kelly. Let's return to our 10,000-meter race analogy. The prosecution is essentially arguing that even if the race was scheduled to end at 10,000 meters, it's perfectly fine to extend it mid-race to 15,000 meters. Imagine the unfairness of this. Athletes who prepared for one distance now face an entirely different challenge. It's no longer about competing under agreed-upon rules but about arbitrary changes that destroy fairness. Now let's ask this. What if the amendment to the statute of limitations had shortened the time frame instead of extending it? Would the prosecution argue that it's fair for victims to lose their opportunity to seek justice because the rules changed retroactively? Of course not. They would immediately invoke the principle of ex post facto laws and go against laws that retroactively alter the legal consequences of actions. This double standard is glaring. When it benefits the prosecution, they argue that changing the statute of limitations is a natural extension of justice. But if it disadvantages the said victims, they would surely cry foul and claim that the retroactive change violates basic principles of fairness. This hypocrisy undermines the integrity of our legal system. The U.S. Constitution explicitly prohibits ex post facto laws. These protections exist to ensure that people are not punished based on rules that didn't exist at the time of their alleged actions. Retroactively applying an extended statute of limitations in essence, punishes the accused for a rule they couldn't have anticipated. It's comparable to demanding a new tax on old transactions. Very illogical. In R. Kelly's case, this principle has been trampled. Decades-old allegations are being revived under the guise of justice, with the prosecution relying on extended statute of limitations laws that were not in place when these events allegedly occurred. This isn't about denying victims their day in court. It's about acknowledging that time matters in justice. Evidence collected decades later is inherently less reliable. Witnesses' memories are clouded, physical evidence is often non-existent, and the opportunity for a fair defense evaporates. It's no wonder one of the key government witnesses, who goes by the name Lisa Van Allen, could not remember that she was already an adult woman of 18 when she first met R. Kelly.
It actually happened at his home, and it happened at his home, and I was 17 years old.
If she hadn't been reminded like the rest, she would be yet another alleged victim compensated in restitutions. When the statute of limitations was originally set, lawmakers made a deliberate choice. They balanced the needs of victims with the rights of the accused. Changing those rules decades later undermines that balance. It sends a chilling message that no one can ever truly move past accusations, no matter how much time has passed or how unreliable the evidence becomes. If this manipulation of the statute of limitations is allowed to stand, it sets a dangerous precedent. Today it's R. Kelly. Tomorrow it could be anyone. Imagine living your life building your career, and then being blindsided by decades-old allegations revived under newly invented rules. This isn't just about celebrities or high-profile cases. It's about the integrity of our justice system, which is lacking. Rules should not be rewritten to fit the narrative of the moment. Justice must be blind, impartial, and bound by the principles of fairness. It's no secret that public opinion has also played a massive role in the R. Kelly case. But surely justice cannot be driven by the court of public opinion. Emotional interviews, media coverage, and social pressure have no place in determining guilt or innocence. The law must stand apart from the passions of the moment. It must provide a level playing field for both the accuser and the accused. Retroactively extending the statute of limitations to appease public sentiment is not justice. In fact, it's called pandering. As citizens, we must demand better. We must insist on fairness, consistency, and adherence to constitutional principles. The statute of limitations exists for a reason, and its retroactive manipulation should concern everyone regardless of their feelings about R. Kelly or the accusations against him. This isn't about excusing any form of bad behavior, if any, or denying victims their voice. It's about ensuring that our legal system remains fair, impartial, and grounded in the rule of law. When we allow emotions to override principles, we risk losing the very foundation of justice. So, my dear intellectuals listening in, the next time you hear about statutes of limitations being extended, think about the 10,000-meter race. Think about what it means to change the rules mid-game, and ask yourself, if this can happen to R. Kelly, who else could it happen to? Justice must be fair, or it isn't justice at all. Thank you for subscribing to this channel. If you believe in fairness and the rule of law, please share this video to your social groups such that this message reaches as many as possible. And let's have a real conversation about justice, fairness, and the importance of constitutional protections. If you wish to take part in a live interview discussing any of these topics, let us know by sending an email to sashalfnmedia@gmail.com for scheduling. That is all we had for you today on HN What's Your Say. To keep updated whenever we post a new video, subscribe to this channel now. Also, remember to hit the bell icon and enable notifications. And feel free to share your opinions with us in the comment section below, and let us know if you would like us to publish your views in our next release. We value all our subscribers' opinions.